Ed, you've got this red book, the
this
document with all the figures in it. I mean, overall, is he given more than he's taken away?
Well, that's always the big question, because, there's lots of sound and fury, but what does it actually amount to? I'm just going to quickly show you. I mean, this pie chart, as it were, shows you precisely what the Chancellor is going to be spending money on, and you can see the vast majority, the biggest chunk of that, right-hand side, social protection, that's welfare. And that really is why this comes back down to why he was talking about a welfare cap. He needs to try to bring that down or bring that under control, and that is one of the, ongoing themes. But you asked whether, is this actually a big spending moment, a big tax moment. I'm going to show you something called the scorecard. Now, this is essentially all of the sums that the government has done in advance of this budget. OK, and I know it looks a little bit complicated, but I'm going to just kind of briefly show you a few things that underline precisely what kind of a budget this was. Was it a big fiscal moment or was it not? This is the second page of the scorecard. I'm just going to circle something for you here. It's the line talking about total policy decisions. Now, you see those numbers. Those are millions of pounds. And the rule of thumb is, if you're talking about thousands of millions of pounds, in other words, billions, that's a big budget. That means that you are either putting a lot of money out into the economy or taking it out through tax increases. And you can see from looking at this, it's pretty neutral. It's a giveaway in the first few years, and it's taking money back afterwards. And I just want to show you what the biggest things were here, what actually accounted for the main increase in the main changes there. And as you can see, it's the personal allowance. It is that change, that increase, which results in quite a big giveaway. You can see money going out there. Whereas when it comes to the ISA, and we talked about all these pension reforms, remember that was a big part of this speech. Nonetheless, when you're looking here, these are relatively small numbers. Savings tax, not going to cost that much. Bringing in the higher limit to ISAs makes a big flurry, but it doesn't necessarily cost that much. So actually, when you look through the numbers here, we're not talking about massive sums, we're talking about quite small bit. And that comes down to the fact that although the economic numbers are a bit better than expected, it's not like there's an enormous amount of money left to spend, really.
Well, can you shed any light on this issue of who does best out of this budget, whether it's those at the richer end of society or at the poor end? We've had that increase in the personal allowance, this rate at which, the level at which you start paying income tax, but yet then,
yes,
richer people are likely to have bigger pensions and more savings.
That's on my other screen. But we can show you, we can basically show you that the number of people who are paying the higher rate of tax has gone up considerably. It's gone up by about 1.4 million over the course of the last 4 years alone. The fact, though, remains that you have to bear in mind personal allowances. If you get a bit more cash tax-free from your earnings, then it means you don't necessarily pay as much on that as well. So the promise from the Chancellor is that will feed in, and although you may be paying a higher rate of tax, you'll be getting a bit more of it tax-free at the start, and so when everything nets out, you might be a little bit better off. That's the theory,